Welcome to Your Story Matters, where you can leave the bullshit at the door and be you. I'm your host, Sean Nicious. Today I'm here with Nick Wissman, the general manager of Lake Shore Harley Davidson.
Yeah,
how's it going today, man? How are you feeling?
Man, any better, I'd be worried about it, Sean. Thanks for coming out today and bringing your cause to the table. We're over the moon excited about supporting the cause, with suicide prevention and things of that nature. We're so excited. Thank you.
You're awesome. So tell me a little bit about Chicago life, man. Like, you live out here in Chicago, right? Or
yeah, I was born and raised in the northwest side of Chicago, so a pretty prevalent area. That's where all the Chicago firemen and police officers live, school teachers, city employees. So it's kind of a niche in the corner of Chicago. It's not a good example of what the whole city of Chicago is, how broad it is. Culture diversity. Born and raised in Chicago. Love the city. Just grew up riding dirt bikes, and 12 years old was riding a mini bike, and just fell in love with the motorcycle world, and got me a little bit to where I am today. And I'm sure we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah. Growing up, what was life like out here, and the stuff you did? You were talking about BMX riding. How was that?
Yeah, BMX riding, man. When we were kids, we would ride till the lights came on, on the streets, and ride even later than that. For us, it was all about how far can we go from home? How far can we adventure out, and see different places that we've never seen before in a car? Remember, we weren't driving at that time, so for us to go 7 miles away from home and be on a city street, we're like, what is this area about? It was cool. So BMX biking was kind of my segue into motorcycling, and growing up, I was always on two wheels.
Yeah, that definitely takes me back to a time when I was younger.
Okay.
And what I did was, I don't know if you ever did this, but back to the back of the back to the bicycles.
Yeah.
They we took bottles and put them into the wheel, and it made it sound like it was the actual motorcycle and something like that. I don't know if you remember doing that or not.
Yeah, we did playing cards, and it would
it sounded like a motorcycle. So when I was younger, like I always modeled after my dad and what he rode a motorcycle. I don't remember. It's been so long ago,
sure.
But he really instilled that to get into motorcycle community and stuff like that, and I have an overall love for the motorcycle community and what we do. And so moving forward, did you do any like college education or anything like that, or how was high school?
Yeah, high school was troublesome. I was a troublemaker in high school.
Are we all?
Yeah, I guess we all are. And so I had some struggles in high school, and then right after high school, after I finished that, I took a break for a while and stored my wild oats, let's say, for 3 or 4 years, and then I went back to college. I went to the Art Institute and studied that and graduated with honors, and came out. And I showed my mom that I really have what it takes, as long as I was interested in the subject, So, yeah.
So tell me a little bit about the college experience and how that impacted you moving forward, and how much, because like school, like it breaks you. You got to study long hours.
Yeah. No, school was kind of, it was a discipline, and that's what colleges are. They're a discipline to show, the workforce and, the employers out there that you're committed to something and you stick with it and you excel and you exceed. To me, education is everything in life. With my children, I pride them on their education, and I push for education and just awareness. Education is part of awareness and knowing what's out there. And that kind of brings light to your cause, about suicide and what it brings to the table.
Yeah, like just the mental health of getting through school and stuff like that it is a challenge, and
it sure is, yeah.
I've had like with me going through college and stuff like that, it's crazy. So in my book, what I talk about is I talk about how calculus was a drug for me for getting through my relationship.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that.
I sat long days down in math lab and just writing out all these problems and stuff like that. Because around that time I was going through, or around 2017, 2019, I was going through my destructive relationship and stuff like that.
I've been in one of those.
Yeah. And those relationships, they can get to you, and the only thing I could think of, because I dropped out in 2019, and got back in 2021 and the end of the school year, and then graduated with my associates. So
right
I took
man.
3 years of and that's a part of, like, whenever anybody else looks at any of my videos that I have right now, my intro to this podcast, they have a sense of understanding of that breaking time when I first put on my Never Forget the Fallen ride.
Right.
5 days later, man, I came out about November of 2019. I came close to losing my silent battle, and
oh my gosh.
and that really pushed me forward, and seeing in college, I got back into college. I challenged myself, and it's crazy, man. And life as we know it, it just gets going. It gets going and gets going. We're just,
man, this may be playing role reversal, but how did you get out of your bottom and get up to the top and just start excelling and pushing yourself? How did that happen?
So the night of, my grandpa passed away one day after his 80th birthday of cancer. That man was the biggest role model in my life.
Understood.
And the reason I am here today. That night, he was there with me. This tattoo right here, that tattoo right there saved me that night, and that's what saved me the day I broke as well. And
wow.
After that second annual Never Forget the Fallen ride, 5 days later, I plugged myself in the hospital to get help. I called my sergeant. I was like, I need help, and
wow.
That's just how life is, man. And when you need help, and you can't let anybody take that from you, and you can't be judged because of it, because help is a crazy term, and you got so much going in life that it's okay to ask for help. That's one of the biggest things.
Yeah, sometimes when I need help, I feel stuck myself. I need help, but I don't want to explain everything that needs to be part of my help, because it seems like more work than the help itself. Does it make sense?
Yeah, because help is such a hard term to feel,
Right.
And you think you're vulnerable, you're weak, but it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to be weak. And one of the biggest things is around that time, like I was vulnerable. I was weak. I was numb breaking that day. Like, I was really, really numb. And my grandpa was there too again, Poplar Grove Airport Pond. That's the only thing I could think about through my numbness, through my darkness. That's
Wow.
the only thing I could think of. And
you mentioned, in your book, and you've said it to me in the past, it's okay not to be okay.
Yes.
And I'll tell you what that means for me, but I'm going to reverse the role on you. What does it mean for you?
It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to not be okay. Like, you live this life, you have purpose, you have a meaning, you have a drive to move yourself forward, and the only way you can move yourself forward is winning a you versus you battle.
I like that, man. A you versus you battle. I got to write that down, man. You versus you battle. That's really what it is, and that really connects with me, man. For me, it's okay not to be okay. We all struggle with our own life. No one knows the stress that you're dealing with. Everybody has their own battles. One of our mottos here at Lake Shore Harley Davidson is we walk in the shoes of those we serve. But we don't know their struggles. We don't know their perception of what their reality is. And I face those problems too. And when I do, I often have to remind myself, hey, this is a low part of life. Life is not like this all the time. There are highs and lows, and we have to be responsive to when it's down and know that it's okay and it's going to get better. So to me, I always look at it from that lens. Does that help? To say, hey, things are bad now, but they can only get better. So the future looks really good, actually. I kind of have to trick my mind to believe that.
Yeah, and one of the biggest things about the mind is you have to understand to push it forward, move it forward. And when you get in these dark times and stuff like that, it's you versus you. how can you win it? How can you move forward? How can
Yeah.
you get out of that certain circumstance that
Right.
life is okay?
Right.
I don't need to be worried about the not okay part, because that not okay part will get there, get the happiness, and figure out where you need to go. It will send you on your journey. It will send you on the reasoning you have to be here in life. And it takes a lot of time. And if I could tell you about time, man, like it's going by so fast.
Sure.
And I mean, I just turned 27 last Friday. So
Right.
it's big, man. And
Well, 27 is a big number, but one of the things that's always helped me when I'm in that situation is I try to rewind my life 5 years back. So, what was it? Where did I want to be when I was 22? I wish 5 years back was 22. But for yourself, where did I want to be when I was 22? Well, I wanted to have a good career. I wanted to make, a successful, I wanted to be successful. I wanted to have a good career, make decent money. I wanted to have, family, people that I love involved. And then I think, okay, where am I now? I have all that. So we really have to think about what we really have to kind of push that thought out of our head and be thankful for all that we have. It's a really tough situation to be in because you can't get out of your own way when that's going on.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
what we value in life. It's the positive experiences. Those things are the things that we see in our life. One of the biggest, or one of the things I heard this week, and this hit me deep.
Okay.
Really, really deep.
Right.
Fear is a compass. It points you in the right direction. Your fear of yourself,
Right.
it will point you in the right direction.
I like that. No, that's good.
I love that saying, and that really stuck to me this week.
Fear is a compass. Go at it, right? Go at it.
Yeah. Go head on. Like don't let your temptations ruin you. Don't let these ultra egos and ultra reality just step in and take control. Because like in these certain times, like they do take control. Like you can't do anything about it.
Can't get out of your own
You can't
way.
get out of your head. Like you're like, I'm down. I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this. I don't want to live. I don't want to. It's that those things that just run through your mind constantly, and you're in this state of mind where you're numb. You're complacent. You're out of complacent actually, and you don't know where life is going, and you're just like, well, what's gonna trigger in my mind to get me away from that?
Right.
Role models, people in your life, or things in your life that have really motivated you to say, okay, maybe I have a purpose, maybe I have a reasoning, maybe I have some type of reason to keep moving forward.
Yeah, right. Simple as a friend that says, hey, come on out anyway. Come to the party. Come to the Super Bowl party anyway. I know you said you weren't going to go, you were feeling sick, but just come out anyway. Things like that, little nudges. There's people out there that are sending you those signals that they care, but you're just not seeing it.
Yeah.
Because you're getting in your own way. And I know what that spot's like. Not to that extent, but I've been there and I've kind of helped dig my way out of it. And that's why your cause means so much to me, because there's people out there. And I have family members, friends that have suffered through that. And I mean, it's just a tough spot to be in. And I think your cause is going to open the doors to what really is out there. And there is a lot of help out there, isn't there?
Yeah, I think the one way is seeing it, but living it impacts, and I would like to see people see my impact that I've made in life and the things I've accomplished. I want them to see that might be maybe the one bit of help they need to get out of it, to be like, maybe I have a purpose, maybe I have that,
Yeah, sure.
And like it always starts with the biggest failures in life, and those biggest down times of life that you
Yeah.
turn your ego around, you turn your person around
So much.
and one of the biggest things is that you versus you battle. You always go back to that you versus you battle, and
Right.
and one of the biggest things I always talk about, and what I talked about in my book, and how I like really got where I'm at today,
Okay.
is this term called processed emotion.
Okay.
We have in math, we got infinite spectrums. Infinite spectrums. We go out to one spectrum on one side of emotion, and then we go out to another side on processed. We have this way of life where we're pushing out, we're pushing in, we're pushing out. The middle of life, 0, is processed emotion. How can you process your emotion properly to be strong, be the person you are, understand that you have your past, you have all these little things in between that infinite to 0 that you can get where you need to be. And
Right.
first time talked about this, but it's a pretty interesting concept, because that's how my process side, I was like I told you earlier,
Yeah.
calculus was my drug, man. Like, it's crazy to look at things as drugs, you know.
Yeah, sure.
And drugs are bad. Some of them are,
Right.
but some of them can be good as well.
Yeah,
And
sure.
it's a good concept, because you're like, wow, your calculus is a drug.
Yeah. Right.
I got
No.
straight A's in calculus.
Yeah. Well, that was your fuel, right?
I was breaking my mind past the spectrum of out to infinite in process. Like, I only had my process side. I didn't tap into my emotional side till I started breaking and started understanding, like, this is really affecting me. This is really looking like my way of like looking at you or going through life right now. Like, I'm down. You know?
Yeah.
as
Sure.
you're saying.
So process is the science, right? And then emotion is the art.
Yes.
Is
There
that,
you go.
Is that a good analogy?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we often get confused with process and emotion, right? Because I thought about that when we were talking the other day. And art is where things become beautiful. And
Exactly.
right? But process gets in the way of art, and we have to it's kind of a marriage, of,
Exactly.
hey, how can we connect the two, and with process, with getting up and going to the gym, with getting out of bed and just doing something, with getting up and going to work. The process is getting up and doing it. The art is when you're there, and when you're there at the gym and you're lifting weights and those endorphins are flowing and the stress levels come down. For me it's the gym. For other people it may be running or riding motorcycles, which it is for me.
Exactly.
But for me it's getting into that art zone, that emotion, which really helps relieve that stress.
I love talking about this thing of, like, what is it? Sorry, I lost my brain on that one. I'm working on it. We shave away our past life. We like to get out of that skin or that armor, or that place in our life where it's just hurt way too much, and we like to just take that armor, set it up on the wall, and be like, I don't want to
Shelve
look
it.
at it.
Yeah.
Exactly. But the other thing is like, you're gonna have to put that armor back on someday, and you're gonna have to understand that you're gonna have to figure out how to move forward with that armor on, because it's gonna be a part of you. It's your battle wounds, it's your battle scars, if you know that song.
Yeah, sure.
But we have battles in life. We have certain types of things in life that just take us down to the brink of failure and brink of, we don't want to be here.
Right.
That's okay. That's the not okay part, but it's okay to keep moving forward. And
Yeah.
so talk to me a little bit about your passions in life, and first off, like, how did you get into Harley Davidson? Why did you start your career in Harley Davidson? What was your position first?
So I first started in sales.
Okay.
just greeting people, talking to customers, and and just getting to know them and selling them motorcycles. And the first time I sold a motorcycle, it was so alleviating because I found that I can help someone be happier than they've ever been in their life, maybe, when I sold my first motorcycle. And I loved it. The look on their face when they first started that motorcycle. I let them start the bike, by the way. I didn't stand over them and start the bike. I go, push that button right there. And they started that motorcycle up, and man, the smile on their face, it was like a hanger that was caught in their mouth. Like they couldn't remove the smile. And it was just a great feeling for them. And we worked out the numbers, boom, 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 and then they're off riding. And I rode home with that customer that day. And I was at a stoplight, and I looked in the rearview mirror, and I saw him with a smile on his face. And I said, this is why I want to do this for the rest of my life. Because you know what? It made everything else numb and made him feel like life was great. And life is really great. You just have to get out of your own way.
Get out of your shell.
Yeah.
I did that. You remember last time we met?
Yeah.
I decided to actually shave it down, and I had a beard, and I had long hair and
complete
stuff like
change.
that.
Yeah.
I kind of came to a part of my life where I'm changing a lot, and I kind of need to start facing some things that I need to figure out in life. Sure. And I mean, sitting here today, like I am very complacent. I'm actually a lot more calmer than last week's podcast.
Yeah, sure.
But I sit back looking at all this stuff that I do, always talking about it and stuff like that. It always brings up my trauma. It always brings up the person I am and person I used to be, and those in the past is just, it's not you. It's a part of you, but it's not you. It's the way that you become you going forward. Moving forward, how are you going to win at life? How are you going to win those battles? How are you going to win that war? How are you going to win that silent battle the next time it comes up? Because it's going to come up.
It's going to come up.
It's going to keep coming up.
Yeah.
And when that happens in your life, you still think you're going to think about it for the rest of your life.
Yeah,
I think you are. I'm not up there yet.
Well, I mean, it's nothing that simple. You could just shove in the closet and forget about it, right? I mean,
Exactly.
It's part of your resume of life, as I like to say, and that's what builds us to who we are. So those struggles, I find that those struggles that people deal with make them even stronger because they're living through those struggles. So to all the people out there that are listening to this, and I hope this touches your heart. For those of you that deal with this and you're still moving on, amen to that, because you're stronger than you've ever been. And for those people that are around you that don't know those battles, man, keep it silent. They don't even have to know. You are that much stronger that you're going through that and living your life. Amen to that. That's great. You are part of society. You are part of society that is usually looked at as, oh, that person, they're just quiet. They're insecure. No, they're dealing with more than you really think they are, And oftentimes we don't have any consideration for what anyone else is dealing with in their life. We don't care, first of all, and we don't have to realize it because it's not our problem, Shame on that. Because we need to be understanding of what everyone is going through and being receptive to how someone's talking, being passionate, being kind. There's no cost to being kind. I took a phone call today. We're in Chicagoland here. I took a call today from a person who was in a ho-dunk town in Indiana. And I'm thinking on this call, you got 30 seconds to talk. We got to get to the net answer and I got to go. And he's slowing down, talking about a riding experience that he had. He didn't call about riding. He called to ask if his title was processed. But then he started talking about this ride that he took and how nice it was, and that he met his friend at this, at an off ramp. And I'm thinking, slow down, slow down. Appreciate the fact that someone is living their lives like that. They're telling you about a victory. if I'm short with that customer on the phone, yeah, I got to go, man. Your title's done. Bye.
It's the stress of the day.
It's the stress of the day. And what did I do to that customer or that person is I just pushed that, hey, your life doesn't matter. You don't matter to me. I don't care about your story. We have to be more open and receptive to what people are talking about because you know what? That's his way of talking about what his life is. That's his happiness. I don't want to take away from that just because I'm in the busy world. I want to slow myself down and realize, man, that's a great story. I'm so excited for you. Did I really care? Yes, I really did care. And that's what's exciting about it because I had to reset my brain and say, man, I wish I could appreciate that ride myself. You know? It was just something that happened about a half hour ago. And I changed my perception of what that phone call was about. It wasn't about a title. What may that have been the driving force, but it was about him talking to me. Maybe he doesn't have anybody to talk to.
Yeah, you never know. And
you never know.
Just having someone to talk to can change someone's story. You know?
Huge,
you know?
yeah.
And
I
mean,
it did.
we talk about our end of stories sometimes, and you never know. Like, and having because every story comes to an end, but it's what impacted in that story that keeps it moving throughout life.
Right.
You know.
Right.
And how can you when that life happens, how can you put that semicolon, if you know about a semicolon means continue your story to the place you want it to be at. It might feel like it wants to be over, but it's going to take hard work, it's going to take passion, it's going to take a sense of understanding that this moment happened in my life, but it's not going to define me, but it's going to drive me.
I like that, yeah.
And that one was really good. I actually just came up with that one.
Well, yeah, that's how it goes.
But so tell me about some of the outliers in your story. What is some things in your life that has brought you down to the point of like maybe like I shouldn't do this, or I can't do this?
Oh man, there's been job hunts and careers that have changed, and family, and the birth of my first child, Nicholas, and then Maxim, who's my hero. There was a point where just having a child and being married and deciding, am I going to really change my life, and how can I go on? That was a struggle for me. I was this young, vibrant guy that was the club goer. Everybody knew I knew how to get in all these places. I knew all these people, blah, blah. And then I had to decide what's best for me right now, me and my family. And I had to change. I had to kind of shift, to what's best for my family. And that was a hard part because you leave what you think was cool at that time. Hey, man, I want to go out all the time. I don't want to be married. I don't want to be dedicated to, to feed mouths and all that. I would just want to be me. And I had to shift my thought process to what is best for me at this point. And it was for me to be able to, to breed a family and raise children that are successful, that are well schooled, that are cared for, that are nurtured, to prevent something bad like that happening to even them. And that was a decision I had to make. Say, hey, do I want to shift and do the right thing with my wife Nicole, my wife of 20 years, by the way?
Amazing.
Yeah. She's my passion. She's the reason why I get up in the morning. She does everything for me. She's so supportive. But did I know that she was going to be that? Did I know that she was going to be that way 20 years ago? No, I didn't. I was seeing in the eyes of a single man that just wanted to be single and have his life. And I chose a path. The road less traveled, some would say, by Robert Frost. So I chose that path for a better life and a better future. And it was hard. It was hard to decide, hey, I want to do, things like this. But, I slowly, worked my way into a better life because of it. And my wife was really a saving grace to me and who I was. She did a lot for me.
That's amazing. Probably a good question I would love to ask is, What does family mean to you?
Family is a solidity, if that's a word. Family means whole to me. I mean, it creates a wholeness to me that other people don't realize. It's a reason. It's a reason to go to work. It's a reason to make someone, make someone proud of who you are. It's a family is like your circle of friends, but inner circle, like beyond the inner circle of friends. These are the people that you live and die by. Nothing is thicker than blood, they say, and there's some good relationships in the biker community that's as thick as blood. But family to me is everything. If I don't have my family, I don't have a purpose, and just like your family that's gone through that, they meant the world to you, and that's why this cause is going on.
Yeah, and that's family means the world to me. And like what I create, the creation of annual suicide awareness and prevention rides was to create a family, to create an understanding that you can speak your mind. You can give what you want and say whatever you want. That's you. That's you. No one can take that away from you.
Yeah, I agree.
Because we have this sense of like, if we come out and talk about it, we come out and say these words, say, the word suicide. It's like, it's triggering. People look at it like it's triggering. It's a menace. It's a hard word to deal with. My question is how the hell do we turn that into a good word?
Wow.
How do we turn that into a word that says, if it triggers me, maybe I need help?
Yeah.
Can I answer that question? Can I give that question? And doing all this and what I'm putting together, that's what I'm trying to create. I'm trying to create a sense of maybe people will see that help is not a bad thing.
No. We all need help.
Exactly.
And all of us need help. And even the best of coaches need coaches,
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I'm reading a book by Kevin Eastman called Why the Best Are the Best right now. And he's a coach. He was a coach with the with the Celtics, and they won the world championship, the NBA championship. And he talks about things of why he needs a coach too. Everybody needs coach. Everybody is going on their path, but they also need to be guided. Everybody needs assistance, and no one is absolutely perfect. There's always someone out there that's better than you, all that stuff all comes down to, hey, everybody needs help. We're all in this together. And that's what I think is a big part of suicide, is they feel alone and they feel like no one can help.
But there's a whole community that can give the world and understand you for you. And that's kind of like the meaning behind this podcast. Your story matters. Your story matters. How can you make your story matter?
Leave the bullshit at the door.
Leave the bullshit at the door and be you. That's like the biggest. That's why I feel like people have that fear. Why can't I be the compass?
Good point.
And
yeah.
It makes me happy. Like last night, I was talking with this guy from law enforcement, and he was, we didn't even know each other. Just came up to a bar table, sat down, talked, and we're like it clicked like that. Like law enforcement, military. I was former military, and he was such a. You're not even expecting the conversation, and I kind of just get talking like I always do. Because, that's just who I am as a person. I get talking, I just talk.
Yeah. And
I was telling him about my story and stuff like that. And, it's crazy. Like, he came out and told me about some of the things that he was going through. And it's just those little connections in life that make us make us whole.
Absolutely.
And that connection with him, he was like, wow, like just like all this stuff, like he was like, wow, you're pretty cool, like, and he's like, I think he's like 45, and
you don't know who you're talking to until you talk to him, right?
You never know. And like I told him like about all the route planning and how this ride's gonna work, and it's a crazy thing. And so just wanted to go back on one of the points is so what was the process of you going from a salesperson to a general manager?
So, I mean, that was years of grit and grind, just, keeping my head down, working, and not being part of the drama or being part of, other things that happen in the work environment. It basically, it all comes down to hard work and dedication, and if you're willing to put the work in, you're going to get the results. But a lot of people aren't willing to put the work in. There's a line, and the people that are willing to put the work in, that line is not long. The people that want the results, they're right there. But to put the work in is really hard. So it's just a matter of seeing around society what's happening, seeing different people go in and out, what they did differently. And I learned from my environment. They say it takes a family to raise a village, or a village to raise a child.
Yep.
So it's really, if you look at your surroundings and you realize, hey, what is this person doing different that's making them happy, that's making them successful, that's making them, sell more motorcycles, that's making them build better relationships. And I started focusing on that. Instead of focusing on winning, what are they doing? What's the ground level work that's getting them to where they want to be? Not what's the win. Hey, sell a bike, sell a bike, sell a bike. No, it's not about that. Where's the core of this start? Okay, the core situation is, where are you building those relationships? Where are you getting to know the people? Where are you becoming their friends? Not selling a motorcycle, but selling a motorcycle to a friend. Does that make sense? And I just built, I started worrying about relationships instead of about sales. So relationship-based selling is what was a key to me. Hey, I want to make friends. I don't want to make customers. I want to make friends. It's a whole different way of looking at it, and it's worked for me.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I mean, especially like it takes that time and grind and working hard and understanding that you can be where you want to be if you push to be there. It goes back to what I said earlier. Win that battle. Win that war.
Yeah.
Win that silent battle. Don't give up on yourself, because
don't give up.
You can be bigger than what you are in life if you put your mind to it.
Way bigger, man.
Exactly.
And for all of you out there that are listening, man, there is, that light at the end of the tunnel. I always say it's not a train coming at you, man. It's the golden way. You want to get to that. You just have to put in the work and put in that dedication and get out of your own way. Stop thinking. It's hard when you're in that situation. It's hard to think good thoughts when your mind is polluted. And when suicide is involved and you are looking through blinders. You can't see. You're seeing red. You're seeing black. However you want to say it, and that's the key. Is how are we going to turn that suicide word into a word that's pleasant? How do you do that?
It's difficult. That's what I gotta say. It's difficult.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna have people saying like, "Oh yeah, you shouldn't say that word. You shouldn't have the reasoning, or like you should say something else, and like I try to switch it up, saying it's losing that silent battle, and right. It's always good, but why not face it head on? Saying that word is hard on a lot of people, but how can you move forward if you're not going to accept it?
Exactly.
And accepting it is the first step.
It's part of your resume of life.
Part of the grief process.
There. Yeah, it is. You should be. People don't understand that they should be proud of how far that they've come along. People like this. They just don't think of where they've come from and where they are. They just think of where they are. And I always challenge everyone, go back a few years and think of where you wanted to be. And you're kind of there now. Give yourself some credit. You're doing everything that you can. You're working. It's, life is tricky. It's not fair. Everyone, people are born with these skills. And some people are not born with skills. And they're constantly challenging, why can't I be that person? That person was born with those skills. That person is lucky. They're gifted. They're great with math. They're great with this. That's just how it is. You're great with a lot of things too that person isn't. But you're not looking at that. You're just trying to chase them. Get out of your own way. Don't worry about what they're doing. Stay in your lane and focus on the one thing you can concentrate, and that's yourself. That's big to me. That's in my son Maxim. It's in his room. The only part of the universe that you can concentrate is on yourself, because you can't change anybody else.
Exactly, and you shouldn't have the mentality to change anybody else.
No.
And that's why, you want to have this sense of being you process, and
Totally.
And if you don't have that process of being you, how can you move forward? How are you going to be able to understand that, I have this thing going on?
Right.
Identifying, one of the biggest processes in my mind that I had to understand was, the grief process. I can't remember it. I looked into it a lot, but
Okay.
there's five different stages, depression, it's about that comeback, and just understanding, going through, I said a lot, like when I was going through this, the process was like a revolving door. It was like a revolving door, and it just kept going and kept going and kept going. And you're never gonna fall into that happiness level unless if you face it head on. That last stage of the grief process, to stay in that level, you got to understand that all the other ones are going to be a revolving door. It's still going to be there, but it's still a revolving door. And one of the things I love talking about as well is like our lives. Yeah. Just imagine like 1,000-piece puzzle. You have a 1,000-piece puzzle in front of your face, and you're like, okay, I have 1,000 pieces here. How do I connect my life together? How do I connect these pieces in the places that they need to go,
Right.
And understand that sometimes it's going to take time to put the puzzle together. You might get to complete it. You might have some of those pieces on the floor, and you have to pick them back up and put them back in, But once you complete it, you're always going to have that one piece of just like, that piece is there. That piece is my past. Out of all 99% of all those other pieces that you created in life, that 1% is what hurt you. That 1% is your pain in life. That 1% is the reasoning you're here. It's a part of your story. It's a part of your meaning to be here in life.
The goal is
put
not
it
to
in
make,
or put it out. Put it in or put it out.
The goal is to not make that 1% stronger than the other 99%, right?
Oh gosh, if I could tell you about that, like if I could tell you like 1%, like 1% of people are gonna always take your story and throw it on a different path, and I've had that happen a lot, and I've grown from it, and I've understand that I'm not gonna lose my way of living, the way I am happy with, especially starting this podcast, like, and starting all the rides and stuff like that. If I could tell you, like last year, like I was not wanting to do the ride. I was honestly not wanting to do the ride because like first off, I got out of a relationship back in 2022, a year of like, and I could probably think I'm still impacted from it because when you love someone, you love someone, man.
Sure.
And
whether it's the right or wrong reason, you love someone.
And I still hurt for it about this day. I wish it could have did different. But you got to understand that person is still human, you know?
Sure.
And, you know, people make mistakes. People tend to not understand your boundaries, and they like to overtake them. And that's life. That's how life is.
That's life.
And, you know, like, going from my destructive relationship, like, getting cheated on, like, multiple times and stuff like that.
I've been there.
You know, leading up to that, you know, leading up to the 2019 when I was going through that relationship, I didn't want to be here because of that.
Yeah, right.
You know,
no, who does?
And you got to have morals. You got to have morals in life, because if you don't have morals, it takes away from the person you are. And if you don't move forward with those morals, you're going to lose a sense of yourself, and people will take advantage of that.
Definitely.
You can't let people take advantage of that.
No way.
And you got to stick to your morals. And going from that one to the next one, I only allowed it once.
Good.
I'm not scared talking about it, because it happened, and, you know, it's what happened.
And you moved on.
And I moved on, and
good for you.
It's hard, but
not anymore.
It's still hard.
Yeah, but is it getting less harder? I mean, as time goes on, does it help?
As I think about it, kind of. I want to be in a relationship. I want to, you know, prosper with the family and stuff like that.
Right.
But,
well, yeah, but that, you know, that relationship has scorned you for other relationships, and
exactly.
You know, and that's happened to me too. I was in an abusive relationship before, and you know, until I met my wife now of, you know, almost 21 years, I didn't think that someone was ever going to be that caring.
Yeah, I still have a road.
Yeah,
I still have a road.
So I mean, just while we're on this podcast, let me tell you. You know, you got to get out of your own way. There is someone out there for you.
I'm trying to figure out what that way is and stuff like that.
You'll find that person.
You know, just doing this podcast and stuff like that. You know, it's nerve wracking. I'm finally I'm a lot more calmer now, but like I'm stuck in this lonely world of, even though like I go from, you know, talking about it a lot.
Right.
But talking about a lot. It takes away from my mentality. Sure. and it lowers it, and I have to go through my mind. Like, after this podcast, I'm gonna have to go through my mind and reset myself, okay. And understand that, you know, I go back to my trauma. I go back a lot. And I mean, even though Amanda, like, she's helping me out with
your book,
with the book,
helping you edit the book.
and like, she told me to reread it, try to reread it. And, you know, like, I got to chapter 3, and just, like, that night, I just sat there in my bed, and I looked at I sat there, put my phone down, because I couldn't read it anymore, because of just how traumatic that relationship was. And I realized that night I still have that a part of me. And I'm thinking that piece is still there. And I closed that book, but it's time to reopen it, because one of the things, and this is crazy, and this is probably the most degrading thing I've probably had a little bit, but I had someone else read that book, and they told me that I should be in a mental hospital after. Tried to get me into a mental hospital. And oh gosh, like, that totally threw me off my path. And and oh man, like, I don't know, but I should look at it and be like, you know, fuck that. Fuck them. Like, are you fucking kidding me? That's a part of that 1%, you know? That 1% that just don't give a fuck to understand that we are all human.
We all are all human.
We have these mentalities in life. Maybe if something's triggering you like that, maybe it's something inside you as well.
Yeah,
you know?
Sure.
And maybe, I hope, to that 1%, I hope they figure it out. I hope they understand that they can get where they need to be as well.
Right.
I'm not going to let that 1% define me, though.
No, you shouldn't.
But I did.
You did. You did.
I let it. Now, I'm fucking not. I am moving forward. I am understanding the person I am, and this is where my intensity comes from, and you get to see it on my face. Like, it's like, this is my fucking passion. This is my fucking reason. This is who I'm about. Here.
Right? Fuck yeah.
Yeah. No one's gonna take that away from me.
No.
That book has its traumas for a reason. I was talking consciously, understanding the person I was.
Right.
But how do I move forward?
Right.
Now I'm moving forward. Now I'm doing things that I think I couldn't do. Here I am. A podcast. Like look at this. Like,
this is cool. Yeah, this is so cool. Right. We're sitting here, amongst the showroom at Lake Shore Harley Davidson, and you're telling me this, and it kind of reminds me of this other book I'm listening to with my son at the time, my older son, Nicholas. We're listening to a podcast called Let Them Theory.
Yep,
and
that's what you told me about that last time. Talk to me about that theory.
By Mel Robbins, and she's great. It's the first book I've ever listened to or read with her, and she talks about the Let Them Theory, and what I want to elaborate on that is that so many times, me included, right at the start, I'm so affected by what other people think of me. And I constantly find myself judging my own life based on what other people's thoughts are.
No, don't do that.
And the secret is you can't control other people's thoughts. All you can control is what your reaction is to it.
Control your story.
Control my story. Yeah, control my story. Amen to that, because your story matters. So, to me, I was caught up all the time in worrying about what other people's perception is of what I'm doing at the time, or this move that I make, or this decision. And the Let Them Theory talks about simply letting them think. Because you know what? They're entitled to their own opinion, just as I am. There's times where I didn't like what someone else was doing, and I was mad that they didn't care that I didn't like that.
Why?
How destructive is that? I'm mad at what you're doing, and I'm even more mad that you don't care that I care about that. So you don't care about how I feel about you. I was caught up in that round robin of just a negative thought process, worrying about what other people's perception is. And I think that hurts a lot of society today, because we're always worried about what we think other people are going to think of us, and they're entitled to do that. That's why we should let them. Let them decide what they're going to decide. Let them decide their feelings, but let me, right, as you say,
exactly.
tell my story and let me be the way that I want to be. Because this is my life, not anybody else's. Not to the extreme where I'm just going to go crazy and do what I think is wrong, because that's not what I'm doing. I'm doing what I think is right, but it doesn't align with everybody else's thoughts. There's this thing where there's a story where someone was driving. They wanted to drive all the way to make sure that they hit their sister's house for Christmas, and then they went to their brother's house for this event, and they wanted to make sure that they're at all these three events, and they were worried about how the other people are going to appreciate that they made it to that event. Well, the person's name was Greg, drove all the way across town to make it to their sister's house, and then they left within 2 hours to leave to go to their uncle's house for another event. And they're thinking that they're doing all these great things. Oh, I made it to they're happy. Meanwhile, their sister was pissed, saying, you know what? What a jerk. Greg left an hour early. He probably doesn't even care about us. What did you worry about that entire time? You were worrying about how other people are going to think. Do it for yourself. If you're going to do all these things for people, do it for yourself. Don't do it for them and how they feel about you. Do it for how you feel about yourself. And I think a lot of people don't do things for themselves. They do things based on what other people's perception is going to be of them, and that's not a way to live.
False perception is hard to deal with.
Yeah.
And one of the big things is you talking about that. Like, I made a huge mistake on my Never Forget the Fallen ride. I sent all the Jeeps out an hour early.
Oh man.
It was like 80, 85 degrees out.
Yeah, right.
You learn from your mistakes.
Totally.
You learn from mentality, and you grow as you push forward. You what is it? When you have that nose on the grindstone, you get it to where you need to be.
Right.
You know, and not letting, you know, you're going to get criticism. I'm going to get criticism for doing this.
Sure.
Everybody's going to get criticism for doing what they love to do.
Yeah. Let them.
Well, let me
Yeah.
let me be the person I'm going to be. Judge me on my way of moving forward with those certain circumstances and stuff like that. But look at it as like, I'm not going to look at that.
Right.
I'm not going to let that stuff get to me.
No.
Because that's what other people think. It's not what I think. It's what they think.
Yeah. And you can't control that.
You can't. You literally can't control that. And you know, like, there's so many different views, so many different perceptions in life, and we can't let those just ruin us. You know, there's what, 500 million people here in America. So many people. You know, don't let anybody bring your story down.
No.
You know, and move forward to the way your story needs to be. You know,
I agree.
you write your story.
Right.
No one else, right? No one has that pen and saying, oh yeah, Sean's gonna do this, Sean's gonna do that, Nick's gonna do this,
Right.
Nick's gonna do that. No. You.
It's your
you,
pen. You write
me,
the story.
our own human. We do the story.
I like that.
And the definition comes out of it, the way that you push it and motivate it and understand, like, give that purpose. Give that
Totally.
understanding of your story.
Yeah.
Don't be ashamed of your story.
No.
Why? Why should you?
No.
You know?
You shouldn't.
And you'll learn from your mistakes, and you'll get them to the point where they need to be.
Right.
Like, learning from like that, like, I send them out like probably like 10 minutes early now. Or I do something else, like I have blockages and stuff like that, like,
Right.
man, just going. So one of the cool things about the rides is one of the biggest things is I make them like a story.
Okay.
You know,
Tell me
my
about
first
that.
one, this one is for you.
Okay.
Next one was Never Forget the Fallen, 2nd annual. 3rd annual was We Are in This Together. 4th annual was Keep Strong and Moving On. 5th annual was Your Story Matters, which sparked this podcast.
Okay.
And then after that Your Story Matters ride, and that Your Story Matters ride was, it was like 6 bikes and like 20 cars and stuff like that. It was a rainy day out in Broadhead, Wisconsin. So
Yeah, tough day. Tough crowd.
little tough crowd, but we had looking at it, it was one of my easiest events, you know, and everybody was just placent. The air was just calm, cool, and collective.
Yeah.
It was to a point where people could talk and have fun, and it was an amazing ride, I would say the least. I'm glad I did it because I thought I wasn't gonna do it.
Yeah.
But hey,
That's great. I mean, no, all of your rides, and and Lakeshore is over the moon excited about that opportunity that we're going to have, to support a ride, and I think that we're going to drive more than enough traffic in here to discuss it. We have another ride that's coming up in May.
yeah, talk to me
17th.
about that.
Yeah, it's called the Ride for Resilience. Okay. And it's a personal friend / customer. Unfortunately, some of my friends turned into customers. Ozzy Valdez and, Angels de Silencio, which is his riding club. Ruben and a few guys, Steve, and there's a bunch of guys there. And their ride is for officers and first responders, and they deal with suicidal tendencies all the time. My best friend James, he's a firefighter, and he calls me, and he has a lot of struggles that he deals with, and he tells me, you don't understand what it's like to walk into a house and see a baby in a microwave, or a booby trap under the stairs that's going to blow your legs off just for you trying to help save someone's lives. So we don't know what goes on in their lives, and the Ride for Resilience is all about supporting the first responders and people alike that struggle with post-traumatic stress disorder. Could it be their environment, their work environment, their life environment? It really doesn't matter how they're suffering, but the fact that they're suffering. And the Ride for Resilience, this is going to be our second annual Ride for Resilience, and we should have north of 300 riders, which we're excited about. And that's going to be a lot of fuel for our passion of the cause, and I can't wait for you to be a part of that too.
I'm definitely gonna definitely put that one on my schedule, and and moving on, I'm this year, I don't know if I'm gonna have a ride. I want to. I might look at it maybe in March, but I'm looking at the scale of this ride that we're going to be putting on 2026, and just thinking about it, man, this one is for our vets. 2026 August 22nd, 2026, and that's crazy actually, because Rock to Stop 22 August 22nd of next year, that Saturday.
Cool.
5 different Harley Davidsons, 5 different rides, all in one day. Working on Wisconsin, and as well as an Illinois State Police escort.
Wow, that's gonna be great. So cool.
Why not make an impact?
Why not? You're going to make an impact, and that's why we're here talking, man. And I'm so excited for that. I'm happy for you, man. Thanks for doing that.
I'm what do you think about it? What's your perception of it?
Man,
because you've probably been a part of route planning before.
Yeah, I've been a part of ride planning, rides, across the United States, rides to the museum, rides to, the 120th anniversary, the 100th anniversary. All of our rides. We have the bike blessing we do here at Lake Shore the first Sunday of every May. It's going to be our 33rd. But it's all for a cause, and it's, what's nice about it is, it's 500 or so riders getting together. They know what the cause is. They're not sitting there talking about it, and just talking about what the cause is. They're there because they're unified and they know what it's about, and they're excited to be there together. It's not about making it dramatic, talking about it and thinking about all the bad things that are related to it. No, it's not. It's about the success of why we're doing this. And we're here unified. And we're not going to talk about the bad stuff. We're talking about why we're here. And we're here to bring awareness, right? Because it's all about awareness. And that's where the struggles are, is that there's not the communication with the people out there. They're not aware that people are there to help. People are there for you. It's okay to call. That's just a term you don't hear any longer. Hey, it's okay to be bad. It's okay to be in a bad way. It's okay.
Make a friend.
Make a friend.
Make a friend.
Yeah.
Make someone, or you meet so many people in this community, this motorcycle community, that there's always amazing relationships.
Way better relationships than any other community out there.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and the fact of turning that motorcycle on, revving it up, getting it ready.
Yeah.
And one of the things is with this ride, my passion behind it is getting a sense of, let's combat the suicide temptations. Let's be maybe just one person in that dark moment in their life, sitting there being I don't want to live. See the suicide awareness rides I put together and I got purpose. I got a reason to be here. That fucking ride was so fucking awesome. I got a reasoning to be here.
Yeah.
You know, and
Right on.
that is the whole purpose of this ride, is to create that positive trigger that might get you out one day.
Yeah.
Or even all the talking, all the people I talk to in life, and all the relationships I make and stuff like that. How can we understand that we have this? We can let it out on this ride. We can be there for people. And not only for Rock to Stop 22's 10th annual musical festival, their 10th annual, my 7th annual ride. And I think this is going to be fucking amazing.
It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait. I can't wait to see the crowds line up, the energy and the energy and just the people, you know. And, you know, and just to see the people that, you know, when you look them in the eyes, to know the, you know, to not know their story, but to know that they all have their own story, because they all do.
They all do.
And
they all do. Everybody has a story.
And when you make eye contact with someone, you realize, hey, this person may be suffering from that. I'm going to give them all I got. I'm going to make this conversation 1% more pleasant than it should be. Or I'm going to take this phone call and change the temperature of the phone call. I'm going to make it better, you know? And if we could just do that and concentrate on making everything better, a little better, at no cost, right? I always say that.
Even the 1%.
Yeah, even the 1%, man. Yeah, just making their lives 1% better and just helping with that, you know? And that's amazing. And, you know, thank God for you. Thank God for you and the cause. And I'm excited to be part of it.
Yeah, and I mean, everything's gonna be start coming out, being released, stuff like that, and like I'm gonna get a tape of this saying 5 different Harley Davidsons, 5 different rides over to you, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think honestly, this might be the ride of the century.
It will be there. Yeah, it very well could be, man. I mean, you know what?
You never know.
No, you don't know. And you know what? If it saves one person's life, it was the ride of the century, right?
Exactly.
Definitely.
Exactly.
Yeah. So then that's what it's all about. It's making that difference.
Exactly. And, you know, just be an impact. Just be, you know, like at the end of the day, I hope this is like the only thing I ever do in life. You know?
Right on.
If I could do that, that would be...
Change people's lives, yeah.
That would be my passion. That's my go-to if this is where it goes.
I'm here to support it, man. I'm here to support it.
So, talk to me about... Here's a good question. Do you ride? I'm sorry, I had to.
I think you've said that before. Yeah. No, I kind of like riding motorcycles. Yeah. No, I have a passion for riding. You know, I like to ride fast. You know, my friends say I think that I'm not riding fast, but I like the energy on a motorcycle. I like the freedom that it gives you. You know, the bike of my choice is a Road Glide, fixed fairing. You know, king of the road. But, you know, I love them all. You know, you can't go wrong with one or the other. They're all fun motorcycles.
I mean, this one right here.
Oh man, you know, there's a reason why that bike is in the frame.
Is that under 15,000?
Yeah, we can make that work out. It's under 10, as a matter of fact. So,
wow.
But yeah, why I ride, you know, is not if I ride, it's why I ride. And I ride to kind of forget about all the other stresses. You know, it's my release. I've said this to you before. You never see a Harley Davidson parked outside a psychiatrist's office. You see it at a chiropractor's office because you're hunched down, but you don't see it outside of a psychiatrist's office. So that's my meditation. That's my go-to. That's my release. You know, we all have to have a release. You know, whether it be the gym, whether it be friendships or playing poker or this or that. Riding is one of my motorcycling and the gym are two of my biggest releases in life. And when I get on that bike and I'm riding, I completely forget about all the troubles, the phone calls that I have to return, the person that's mad for this reason, the person that needs, you know, help with this, all those millions of things that I need. the school bills, the college tuition, the mortgage, the insurance, I got to buy food for tomorrow's event. Oh, this salesperson isn't happy. This service person isn't happy. Well, the technician is having problems with the person in parts. All those little problems in work and in life and family all kind of disappear when I hit that rev limiter. They all kind of disappear, and I don't think about any of that.
Can I blow your mind here?
Yeah.
Your motorcycle's a drug.
It really is, man. It really is. And I'm addicted. I like that.
How can you make life a positive drug?
Right.
What can you do?
Well, you could look at the things that are positive around your life. And, for some that's obviously hard, that are struggling. But, friendship, getting next to the person that you love and allowing them to show you how good your life really is. Hey man, you just came back on a motorcycle ride and your life is that bad? They say, you could be death scrolling through your phone and see someone saying, if you have a roof over your head and you ate dinner tonight, you're better than 99% of the people in the world, right? That's not good enough for us. That's not good enough for us. We're beyond that. We're at this level now, So, we often find ourselves not appreciating the things that we have, and sometimes we need a friend or a silent partner to help us realize that. So, friendship, community, people that you could call, a sponsor, those are the types of people that kind of help you see the forest through the trees, if that helps.
This life is fast. It's how we impact it that creates a sense of positivity and us moving forward. Out of all the things, and what would you say your biggest passion in life is?
The biggest passion in my life is the wellness and success and happiness and healthiness of my children. Nothing else.
That's amazing.
Nothing else is bigger than that.
That's family.
Yeah.
That's family, man.
Yeah.
And and I think like with family, I think creating a family is what's gonna create that sense of suicide is positive.
Yeah.
We can figure it out.
Right.
It might happen in life.
Right.
Some people might have their stories end, but that's okay. That's okay. It's not, you got to look at it a positive light afterwards. And that's where you can move forward, because that person impacted a lot more people. Those people make it positive. That's for my life, for seeing that happen to my friend and it happening to him. Make it positive. Turn it into a positive experience. Even though it's a bad experience, that's okay. Yeah. It's okay. It's nothing that's gonna destroy you. But it's gonna hurt. It's gonna have pain. But moving forward, you gotta move forward. You have your life to live.
You have to.
You have to figure out how I can make that a positive experience in my life, to understand that it's okay. It's okay to not be okay.
Yeah. I
see it. It happened, but I can move forward.
I'll move on. Yeah.
Life
is full of okays and not okays, right?
Exactly. And so I want to know, I always ask this at the end of my podcast.
Oh, man.
This is my favorite question.
Oh, man. Okay.
For the audience, one piece of advice that you would give that is motivational to you, and it would impact someone else in this life.
Man, there's so many things that I could think of, but the one thing that I could say that to motivate people in life is, Nike has this logo or this saying, just do it,
Exactly.
And it's not about just win or just succeed, or it's just about just doing it, just pushing yourself to go. It's about that extra effort that you make, that effort of doing it, not winning. That winning is great, but just doing it, moving, always doing something different. Keep going. Because when it's easier to steer than it is to start, right? Starting is hard. You're going from nothing to something. But when you're steering, you're just moving along and you're going along the way. I think suicide is almost like a dead stop. And you're not moving anymore. And when you're not moving, you're not steering, you just can't see anything else. And you just kind of got to keep going. Just keep going. Get out of bed. Take a shower. Invigorate yourself. Spray on some cologne. Feel good. Go out to eat with yourself,
Cut your hair.
Cut your hair. Shave your beard, man. Get on a motorcycle. Do something different. Fucking give something to yourself. You owe yourself more than you think you do. You are a true champion, and you're around for a reason. And I think that maybe a lot for the people that are suffering in this, what I've always felt is that when you're going on that path and you feel that dark, maybe you need to think that I'm not going to be this selfish of a person. I'm not going to end my life and affect 300 other people's lives. I'm going to push forward. I'm going to keep moving. I'm going to make my life better and 300 other people's lives better and their children better. There's a lot more to life. You just got to keep going. There's ebb and flow. Just keep doing it. Life is going to get good. There's ups and there's downs. None of us are always up and none of us are always down. So when you're here, remember, it's only going to get better. Harley Davidson says it. When life is down, remember, it's 1 down and 5 up.
Yes. Yes, that is one amazing piece of motivational advice.
Right.
And it's life. And we have a journey. We have a major journey over this next year and a half. And I'm excited to spend it with you.
Me too.
We're going to bring an exciting experience to this, to the point where I want one person to see that light. That one person sees that light, we won.
Yeah.
We won.
We won, baby.
We won.
Yeah, right on.
And Rock to Stop 22 is, they have their musical festival up there in Broadhead, which is actually Albany, Sweet Minnehaha campgrounds.
Okay.
It's going to be this from here. It's about a 2.5 hour ride, 2.5, 3 hours possibly. The complex process about this is we got to stop for gas. I got to stop the ride for gas.
Yeah.
But that's going to be before the meeting point at Six Corners Road out there in Walworth County. One road comes from the northeast. One road comes from the southeast. Another road comes from the southwest, and another one comes from the northwest.
Okay.
All 4 rides are going to come together, and then one's going to merge, and they're going to merge on 14.
Cool. I'm excited. That's going to be great.
I'm excited. One of the things is, and to end this podcast,
Yeah.
this is Your Story Matters, where you could leave the bullshit at the door and be you. And I want to thank Nick Wissman for coming out on this podcast with me and spending this time with me.
Right on.
Let's do this.
All right, man. Thank you.
Let's do it like Nike.
All right, baby. Great.